So Miley is, oh, what you doing there, girl?
I just moved her on while you were talking.
That doesn't go in there.
Are you doing your ham first?
We've got people running my recipe. And
well, dude, you want your ham first?
Ham first.
All right.
First. So we did wash your hands, and then Miley, I said, take the butter and just coat the cups.
She did.
With my hands? Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what cooking's all about, right? With your hand, get in there, get dirty.
That's
so,
perfect.
All we're doing is taking muffin cups, and we're just putting butter in there, and now she's taking
We're just sticking a ham slice in there.
Just gonna poke in there like she's making a bird's nest, right? Now birds are disgusting, so don't think about them while you're making this dish. But just poking ham in the little cup, and then we're gonna put a slice of pepperoni at the bottom because pepperoni's awesome. And then we're gonna take some scrambled eggs. Would you get me 12 eggs and scramble them, please? Augie, if you'll help me with that. And we're going to scramble. Now, if you're at home, maybe only make 6 of these. We're making 12 because we want you to taste them. Because these keep really well. So if we make them, we're going to have some hot tonight. But these are awesome. If I make 6 and I have one for breakfast, I'll put the other 5 in the fridge. And these are, because you'll see, it's almost like, dare I say it, an Egg McMuffin. But without the muffin, and they're nice, they're portable, so you can just grab one in the morning and off you go to work, and it's a great way to feed yourself. You are doing beautiful. Well, then we'll just do 11, the heck with it. So we're shy 1 piece of ham, catastrophe, and then we're just going to take 12 eggs or 6 eggs, whatever you have. Now you can dump them right in the cup. I like to scramble them, and my kids like scrambled better. So we're going to scramble these eggs. And we're just going to we're going to partition. Let's see how good Miley can partition 12 eggs amongst 12 compartments or 11. And then you can put whatever you like. You can put a little shredded cheese on top. You can put a little shredded coconut. My daughter Lainey does not like shredded coconut. She likes the cheese. I like both. You could use both. Okay? So very simple. And really, once you've done this one time, it literally is 10 minutes or less to put it together and slam it in the oven. It cooks in about 15 minutes at 375. Ba-boom. It's easy. All right? So, Augie's scrambling up the eggs, and we're going to pour those in there, cover them with a little bit of cheese, and throw them in the oven. Any questions? How easy is that? That's too easy, right?
How long do they keep?
How long do they keep? I wouldn't go a month and a half, but I think you could probably get a week out of them. Okay? So, typically they don't last that long in my house. I would not be afraid to leave them in the refrigerator for 5-6 days. Around 6 or 7, you might want to cast an eye for any funkiness. Okay, it's the funk factor.
I'd say for good, because chances are you're going to probably want 2. I think you're going to be fine with a week, and you can do whatever quantity works for you. I've got 2 teenage boys and a husband, and we're all keto, so I'm doing 18 at a time. But not everybody's doing that because they're going to chomp down on 2. They can pack them. You can pack them in your lunch. You can have them for lunch if you want. Pack them in a container, take them to work, and eat them at your desk.
Our puffs are ready. Look at these suckers. Look how
Ooh, those look good.
My camera guy? Look how these things.
How cute!
Up, right? So they puffed up nice. You've got some cooked meat in there. You got a little pepperoni. You could add salt or pepper. I never do because there's enough salt in the ham and the pepperoni that you really don't need it. And so these come out so easy, and you can just take one, and we're going to cut them up so you can taste them. But you can see how easy it would be to stuff that in the fridge and have that tomorrow or the next day. Okay?
Yep.
So we're going to cut those up and hand those out. Help my friends here. I need a big old. Go ahead.
Alcohol, I think, was next. And then I think that kind of wraps up our show. Last point of discussion is alcohol. So a lot of people say, can I drink if I'm trying to eat healthy or go on this keto path? And it definitely can be incorporated. Of course, it's how much and how often. So you definitely can incorporate wine or vodka in this keto diet. So Dr. Huber, do you want to talk a little bit more about that, or do you want me to, about alcohol?
I'd love to talk about
it. We have our wine night Thursdays in our office.
I'm born and raised German in a beer town. Are you kidding me? So, we're gonna get these eggs served up. So alcohol is an interesting topic. We talk to people all the time about their food and blah 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 and yeah I got this, okay, I'm good, and then before they go, what about alcohol? Right? You want to know, can I have my cocktail? Can I have my wine? When we're doing a ketogenic diet, your body is burning fat all the time. You're burning fat at an amazing rate, and that's why belly fat goes away. It's why cholesterol drops. On a ketogenic diet, you're burning fat as fuel. So you don't accumulate triglycerides. You don't accumulate LDL cholesterol. You're burning it as fuel, all right? when you take in alcohol of any kind, your liver goes, oh, there's a toxin in the body, because the liver looks at alcohol as a toxin, a very delightful but toxic substance. And so it says, well, I'm going to put this fat burning aside. I'm going to go over here and burn these calories of alcohol away because I got to get rid of this stuff. So depending on the kind of alcohol you're drinking, alcohol has 7 calories per gram. So in general, if you have one shot, which is like 1.5 ounces of any kind of distilled spirits, that's about 100 calories. The same is true for a 12-ounce beer. The same is true for about a 5-ounce pour of wine, about 100 calories of alcohol. When you have beer or wine, there's an additional carb penalty, okay? Because distilled spirits don't have carbs, but wine and beer do. And so and that's why you see Miller Lite and other light beers competing in Michelob Light, and they have 6 or 12 or 8 carbs. That's in addition to the alcohol, all right? So just understand, if you're a beer lover, you're probably going to get more calories from that, and you're going to stop burning fats for a while. Now, if you have one beer, that's probably not a big deal, but as you have a second or a third, now you're really postponing that fat burning, and you may, depending on how good you are in your keto diet, you may drop out of ketosis. Not a big deal, right? The following day, if you're right back on your keto plan, you're probably going to swing right back into ketosis. But understand, anytime you have alcohol, you are kind of putting a pause button on the fat burning, okay? Not the worst thing in the world. There are wines. I'm going to let Dr. Bianco talk about red wine because he's Italian, and he brought some information to light that I think is interesting. There are better companies. Not all red wines are created equal.
Yeah, so going down the path of trying to treat my body better, I wanted to investigate which wines can I drink to have the carb intake lower. And some of the wines out there actually do have no residual carbohydrate or sugars. So you can get the benefit, well, some say benefit, some may say otherwise, but you get the enjoyment of drinking wine, but not having the negative effects of that. And some of the wines, so there's one called Fit Vine wine, which you can actually find at Whole Foods. You can get it fairly cheaply for a case online, and you can get like 10% off with using different discounts. And then there's a company called Dry Farm Wines, which they source most of their wines from Europe. And it's all, it's very farm-to-table type wines, or these local producers that are giving you stuff that doesn't have the additives put in it. Most American wines have additives. One of the famous ones is called Mega Red. And if anyone has experienced the lovely purple teeth or purple tongue, that is due to additives put in your wine. When you drink wine, you shouldn't have that effect. So if you're looking at your friend and saying, oh, those teeth are looking interesting, that's because the wine you have has some of those additives. And the government has actually approved, you can find this all online, the government website, 60 additives that they've approved to put into your wine for different reasons. Preservative factors, color factors. Everyone wants that deep red wine, but it's stuff that isn't necessary, doesn't really change the flavor, and can have potential negative effects for health. And if you're following a keto lifestyle, then it's going to have problems with that as well. But yeah, Dry Farm Wines, that's a big company, and Fit Vine Wine.
Now we're so close to Kentucky, we have to drink bourbon, right? Right, Carol? Woohoo! All right. So, any questions on alcohol? There's always some lingering question, and don't be afraid to ask. Yeah.
I've heard some stuff about gluten-free beer.
Gluten-free beer.
Thoughts?
There are some gluten-free beers out there, and I think some of the early ones didn't taste great. I do have some beer snobs. I don't mind being called beer snobs because they are. And they tell me that there are some good gluten-free beers out there. I have a list on my laptop behind you. I can access it for you another time if you'd like. These are not my recommendations. These are coming from my beer snobs who say these are good gluten beers. But there are gluten-free beers out there. Yep, absolutely true. All right.
So what was your favorite food tonight? I'm just
everybody
dying to
like?
know.
I like the nuts.
The nuts. Oh. Yeah.
Thank you.
Shrimp scampi was great.
Thank you.
I like egg muffin.
Oh.
A-cups.
Okay. Good.
Does everybody feel like they walked away with something that they're like, I can go tomorrow and go get this, and I've got something for this week that I wasn't thinking about? Yes.
Christy.
Are the recipes Are the recipes in the cookbook or are they on your website?
They're on our website.
On our website.
Okay, thank
Yes,
you.
under nutrition, and then I put them under articles, and you'll see them cooking demo recipes, everything we made tonight.
So there are some in the cookbook, but as we've advanced, that cookbook was made last year. We've added to it. Notice one thing. Again, not a lot of fancy equipment. And how many dinners did we prepare? I don't know how long we've been going. I'm going to guess an hour and 15, somewhere in that ballpark,
Yeah.
maybe a little
We
longer.
did 4 dinners.
We did 4 dinners plus a lot of snacks and a lot of quick things all in that hour. Now imagine if we weren't doing all the chatter in between, okay? So it's very simple to prepare a lot of these meals ahead of time on a Sunday, and you've got them ready for the week. And hopefully our goal tonight was just to show you, hey, it doesn't have to be hard. Our goal is to show you that it can be fun. Spend some time in the kitchen, with your family, with your kids, your spouse, and enjoy that time. And take it as a little downtime. Don't take it as a penalty. And I think you'll find that part of your day is really, really enjoyable. And hopefully we've shown how it can be really, really simple. We know a lot of you, but we may not know everybody here, and there'll be people watching this video. If we've inspired you to think differently about your food, that was really our goal, and to try to make it doable. But there are a lot of people wrestling with everything from weight loss to thyroid to energy issues and sleep issues, and that's what our office does. We're an integrative office, and we employ really smart people. And Chelsea is a great coach in this area. But if you're wrestling with any of those things, we believe that quality of life is key, and we believe absolutely that you should live to 80, 85, 90 years of age and be viable and healthy and active and on the golf course and not in a nursing home. And we think that starts with good food and basic lifestyle. So we talk about things like being mindful and being in the moment. We talk about healthy foods and healthy sleep and exercise, because when you practice these basic things, the complicated things that involve cardiologists and oncologists happen far, far less frequently. So hopefully we've paved the road in that direction. You guys have any final comments you want to make?
I would say, as someone who works and is providing for a family and is cooking for a family, you can do this for a family. I do it for teenage boys. They're keto as well. Now my 13-year-old will tell you he's keto by default.
By default.
But he's a whole other animal. But in any case, what I'm trying to do is instill in them healthy eating habits now before they go off to college, and start filling their brains with all kinds of stuff that they can't do, like that one over there, of stuff that I don't want them to have. I'm starting to instill it now. Kids will embrace this. They'll get there. Mine still wants snacks, but that's why we buy the Dukes, and that's why we have the rolls, and that's why we find the other fun stuff. You can do this as a family. It does not have to be, because I always said when my husband first started with Dr. Huber years ago, I am not a short order cook. I am not doing something healthy for Dad, and then I'm making something healthy for you guys. If it's healthy for Dad, that means it's healthy for you too. And we're doing this together as a family because that's how it works. So if you're in that realm where you've got still kids at home, you can totally do this, and it doesn't have to break your budget, and it doesn't have to kill your time. That's my big takeaway, I think.
I want to share this big lug. He's bigger than me. He still can't take me down, but he's bigger than me. So Augie grew up in my household, surprisingly, as did my beautiful daughter Lainey, and we just talked about foods at a very young age. And so I talk to parents all the time, and I said, this is the time to be talking. Not pushing, not forcing, but just talking. And so when he was growing up, we would say, oh, that broccoli is going to make your feet really fast on the soccer field. Oh, and that chicken's going to make your brain learn your letters really fast. You're going to be a great reader. And we gave these foods qualities because they really do have qualities. And on that off chance that it was a Sunday and we're watching the Bengals game, we might go to the grocery. Notice I said go to the grocery and get a chip, not go to the pantry, because we never kept them at home. But on a special occasion, we would go get a little ice cream, or we would go and get a chip. But they knew the difference just because we talked about it that way. Now, this isn't really good for us. You might notice your belly doesn't feel as good, your energy's not as great, but it's just a fun little occasional snack. So it wasn't like we villainized cookies and pies and cakes, but we put them in their proper place. There's something you can have, but not often, and we don't keep them in the house. And I'm proud to say he just finished his freshman year at college, and he came home, and he didn't pick up the freshman 15. Okay?
Yay, Augie!
Now, Augie went to Moeller High School, which all of you know is an all-male school. It's a very macho school. It's a very meathead school. I love it. I'm a graduate of Moeller High School. And he would go every day to this macho school and have what for lunch?
I had a salad.
I had a salad.
Salad. Okay? And so he goes off to college, and I'm sure he had his fair share of Milano subs and pizzas. But tell him your experience. How hard is it to be with your friends and go out and do stuff and not go crazy on food?
For me, it's definitely not been a challenge, especially during my freshman year of college. And people are surprised when I let them know that I didn't really gain that much weight. I didn't lose any weight, but I definitely didn't get the freshman 15. When I go out to restaurants with friends, I can see all the different pizzas and burgers and French fries and all the things that they'll be having, and I'll order salad, and sometimes I'll get made fun of. I don't really care, but growing up with my dad, I learned a lot and I experienced a lot, and I got to know what things are good for my body and how I can build myself and become stronger. So
Show him your biceps. Go ahead.
Oh my God.
So this is a true story.
Pork
True story. He played on a select soccer team and went away for one of those weekends where they have a soccer tournament. And he came home, and at the time he was around 15 years of age. And he gets out of the van and goes, "Oh, Dad, I can't wait to get home." They're on the road for 3 days playing soccer. He goes, "All they gave us to eat for 3 days was fast food. I can't wait to get home and get some real food." Now a teenager's complaining that he had too much fast
Yeah.
food, right? And so
Yeah.
not that he never has a cheeseburger or a piece of pizza, but he knows the difference. He knows how his body feels. And he would tell me as a kid, I know I'm better on the soccer field when I eat good, or that I'm better in the classroom when I eat good. And so I point that out, and I point out my daughter eating a salad, because kids will eat healthy stuff if we offer it to them, and we make it delicious, right? Good man.
Good job, Augie.
Good man. All right. All right. So if anybody has any final questions, we're pretty much done with everything we had. We'd love to answer any questions you have. I got a few pamphlets over here about the Sunny Olive. We have cookbooks. We have Dale's bars. And we're here
still
to
have food.
here to help.
We have food.
Oh, we still got food.
But
Yeah,
no
did you get
wine,
enough to
no
eat?
plates.
Yeah.
Yeah. Thank you.
We got more, man. We got more.
Thank you for coming.
Thank you for
so
joining
much.
us.
Thank you.
All right, everybody. Have a great night.